Hello, everyone. Just while we're waiting for the 2 o'clock bell to ring, we're going to start by just looking here as usual, what's upcoming in our future talks. I always like to push the third one, send in your ideas. I mean, most of these topics come from you. So it's about helping members. It's about building NAUI businesses. It's about being strong, healthy scuba. And not be going away from our true goals of good quality teaching, dive safety through education. That's what we keep saying, and that's what we believe in as NAUI instructors. So anything I can help you to do or to do better, it would be my pleasure. So send in your ideas, and as I keep adding them in and going from there. If we look forward to October the 5th and October the 9th, there's a close correlation between the two. In the coming week, I'll be announcing a new members resource folder. Some of it will be same articles as before. There's going to be some new items coming in. There's going to be more stuff coming from the international think tank committees and some really great stuff coming. We're going to discuss that on October the 5th. What's in that folder, how you can find things, how you can navigate it, how you can help to make it bigger, better, faster, and stronger. Because it's by members for members, just like the NAUI Sources magazine. October the 19th, we're going to discuss how you can customize some of the things in the folders. As we add new items in there, it's all about giving you the tools you need to succeed. And that's what the 19th is going to be. How can you do it without sending it off to expensive places to be customized for you? How you can customize and tweak things on your own. So I really look forward to those two topics. And by all means, we'll have some guest speakers coming on the second one on the 19th in particular. So that you can get some real good pointers from people that have the great skills of creative work. And we're going to make this fun for you at a level that everybody can understand. Of course, some of us have more knowledge than others when it comes to creating some of these software items, but we want to make it so it's attainable and achievable by everyone. Because as always, these are international sessions where I want the benefit to be passed on globally to independent instructors, to stores, to charter boats, to professional educators. It's meant for everybody. So we try to find that common ground. So without further ado, let's begin. Welcome everybody to another edition of NAUI Talk. This international series is meant to benefit everyone, from an independent instructor to a facility, be it a store or charter boat or resort, or a professional educator, colleges, universities, or an independent facility that's teaching at an education format. So what we're looking for today is how to plan your next season, to plan for success. So without further ado, let's get going. As always, we need to establish our goal. Our goal today is, after this session, you're going to have some techniques and tools available to you to evaluate your previous season or seasons, to plan this coming season, which is the topic of today, and to make sure you're planning for success. To do so, we're going to break it into these categories. What has worked? What hasn't worked? Sounds simple, right? It's not, but it is. And to look around, literally look around where you are to see what you need. And don't forget, a lot of us got into scuba diving because it was a passion for us. So let's remind ourselves what we want to do. And of course, we always need a call to action. Otherwise, what are we going to do with all this wonderful new knowledge? So we're going to break it down in this particular way. Remember, there's a Q&A price on the top or bottom, depending on how you got your screen set up. Mine's up there. It says Q&A. If you put a comment or question in there, we will address them all. I promise to get to them. I always do. If for any reason there's too many to get to during the entire session, we make a point of getting back to people afterwards. So I'll get all your questions answered. What worked? Sounds easy, but it's not. First of all, I'd like to say, grab your accounting records and for the numbers. Some of us have accounting records up to date and some of us don't have them up to date. Depending on your size of business, it may be a shoebox. I hope not. It may be a spreadsheet. It may be a professional agency that you sublet out to, that you are contracting to do your books. But look at your numbers, whether it be this season over the same time last year. For some of us, we're going into the fall, but other people, it's a different season. Where I live in Canada, going into a fall season. So it's a different season for us, especially with COVID and not much travel going on. It's a very big change for us. But your area, you have your own particular needs. If you are in Korea or if you're in Brazil, what season is it for you? So look at this season, this year, this season, last year, perhaps even the year before, to get a trend of what tends to work during that season. But it's more about the season that just finished. What was working? Were you selling gear? Was it basic equipment? Was it basic courses? Were you getting continued education? If you do trips or charters, look and see what is actually making you money. Just because you brought in Canadian dollars, $1,000 on a charter doesn't mean you made $1,000. You may find that you made $100 or $0, or not worse than that. So look at the different particular items you were doing these last 3 months and see what worked, and also what worked last year during the coming months. So you want to see what worked on both of those items. One is back a year, one is back the last 3 months. Okay. And look, are you doing a higher percentage of courses? Is it a higher percentage of airfills? Is it a higher percentage of trips or charters? And those numbers are telling you. When you're looking at that, you can further break it down. What equipment are you selling the most of? Is it profitable? Sometimes, and this is called the upper out philosophy, you actually could make more money by selling less items. And I know most people go, whoa, that's crazy talk, but it's not. The reality is sometimes you can be more profitable by selling a little less. So sometimes maybe putting the price up on some of those items will lead to more profits. And yes, instead of selling 20 sets of regulators or 20 advanced courses, maybe you only sold 15 advanced courses, but they were all profitable. It's better to sell 15 profitable courses than to break even on 20. Because when you break even, you didn't really break even. You're in business to make money. You've got bills to pay. We've got to get through the next season and the one after that. We have insurance. We have professional fees. Some of us have rent. Some of us have utilities to pay, electricity, water, etc. If you have a boat, you have mooring fees. There's lots of fees. So we need to be making money on all our items to be contributing to those fixed costs and those variable costs. Today is not an accounting lesson, but if you don't know the difference between fixed and variable, please look it up. But fixed are items that you're going to have to pay for one. If you got to make all the payments, not some of it. You have a boat slip, you got to pay the whole thing, not part of it. Variable would be something like fuel for your boat. The more you use it, the more fuel you have to purchase. The less you use it, the less fuel. That would be a variable purchase. Okay. So look at those items, whether it be on equipment or whether it be on surface. Big one that a lot of people are looking at. They look at how much they sell. They don't look at the service side, or even airfills. Airfills can be profitable, but airfills can be not profitable depending on how you're doing it. So look and see what worked. Close match on what does work is what didn't work. Same grids, look at the last 3 months, but also look at last year, those same three and the forward three, and see what didn't work last year. You know, again, maybe it was a blip that this year I didn't sell very many advanced courses. Could be because of COVID. But if I haven't sold many advanced courses 2 years ago and this year, there's a problem. Either A, I don't know how to sell the advanced course, B, I'm not using the right tools to get it effectively, or C, I'm not sending the right message out to people to let them know they need to do continuing education and upgrade their skills. That's a course idea. The same would be on equipment, purchases, and service. Look and see what has been working and it hasn't. I find a lot of times there's a lot of people who may sell, and again, I'm just going to use an example of regulators this time. They sell 20 sets of regulators, but how many of those came back in for service? Service should be profitable. You got a bench there, you got spare parts there, you got tools there. Those costs are, some of them, most of them are fixed costs. You have to pay for the cost of those tools and that bench, whether you service one set of regulators 20. So how do we pay for that? How do you keep your skills up? The variable cost on that would be the service kits for those regulators. You know, if you're not servicing them, you don't need the kits. However, most of us have some in stock. What's the life expectancy? That's the time that that service kit is of value. Is it 5 years, 10 years? That's a manufacturer decision, not yours, not mine. And if the manufacturer says it's only good for 5 years, and you got 5 years coming up, when it's 5 and a bit, you can't put it in. Look at your insurance, look at your standards, okay? So again, this is not a course on how to do service, so don't attack me if I kind of generalize on it. But the reality is if we look at what didn't work as well as what did work, sometimes we have a moment of clarity. And that moment of clarity could be that you need to focus on an area. If I'm not getting enough service, why? What message am I sending to my people that I sell regulators to? Again, if I'm selling regulators, maybe give them a coupon for a percentage off. I'm never a free fan, so I wouldn't say give you free service. No, but give an incentive for them to bring it in. Maybe it's if you bring your eggs in for service, you get so many air fills or something like that. You know your business, I don't, but make it sweet, make it appealing to them, give them a reason to bring it in. Here's an idea. We all have email and we have telephones. If you're keeping good records, you probably should know who you sold those 20 sets of regulators to, or you know who you sold 20 basic open water courses to. Pick up the phone. Ask them if they want to take the next course, or ask them if they need service. You'll learn a lot real quick of what you're doing right and wrong. Some of them you might shock you. Say, well, I didn't know you taught advanced, so I taught somewhere else. Can you imagine the message? So it's very important that we get those messages out to people and be based on facts, numbers from our accounting, from what we've been doing, from our records, we can see what is working and what is not working. That helps to build the plan. Look around. If you're looking over there and you have 15 scuba tanks that are waiting to be sold, well, you've already purchased those 15 scuba tanks. That'd be an item that you may want to focus on selling, because 15 tanks worth of your money is sitting right over there on the floor. Or maybe over here, you have some NAUI education systems. Maybe there's 10 open water courses, 5 advanced, 5 rescue courses, and a dive master. Well, if you ask me, that's where I'd start focusing on what courses I want to teach. Well, let's look for 5 rescues to get out. If I can sell those 5 rescue courses, you sell this, the NES kit costs you this. Not only do you get your money back, you bring in the difference. Again, I'm not mentioning prices because I don't know your prices. In different parts of the world, we have different costs and different ways we do business. And I respect that because we all have our own knowledge of our own regions. We are the experts. And if you're not, look at last NAUI talk where we talked about how to become an expert in your region by writing articles. Go back and see that. It's on our NAUI TV. So as we're looking at what we want to do, sometimes it's what I have to do. A good example of that is for first aid. If you do not do a first aid course, again, it may vary on your agency. I'm a big fan of Divers Alert Network. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that, now you do. And I have to teach a minimum number of first aid courses every 2 years. Look at your numbers. Have you taught those courses? If you haven't, focus on that, because it's a lot better, a lot more profitable, and a lot more success oriented. If I take and train somebody for a couple of courses, A, I got paid for running the course, B, I kept my skills and qualifications in place, and C, I didn't have to pay to take that course again. Or it could be another course where I have to pay for. Could be a regulator maintenance course, could be an IT or a CD biannual upgrade. You have to keep your designation by doing some learning and some requals. Could be many things, right? So look and see, what do I need to requalify? maybe those are the ones I should focus. If I have to do a IT item, then maybe I should be looking for getting a leadership course out so that I can tie them together. Not all, while I'm doing this work and paying this money, I'm receiving this money from somebody else, and it's the same work. More money in, because that's coming out anyways, and it's the same work. Leadership is leadership. You're teaching leadership. As you're teaching it, you're upgrading your skills and making sure you're using the most current standards that are available to you as a NAUI instructor. So to see how I'm tying that together, it makes it an easier process for you to look at. Look around. And I use that literally. Look around your store. Look around your garage. If you're an independent instructor, maybe you're working in your basement. Could be working out of your truck. It doesn't matter to me where you're working. You may have 15 stores. We'll drive to each of the 15 stores and see what's in stock. Literally look and see what's going on. I bet you some of you, again, so you're an independent instructor, let's use that. You've got a garage. You look through your garage, you got thousands of dollars sitting there. 5 new BCDs are not new next year. They're a year old. And I know sometimes people, oh, no, they're brand new. They're never used. No, they're a year old. 5 scuba tanks that are a year old are now 1 year older. They need a hydro every 5 years. Again, depending on where you are in the world, it might change a little, but generally speaking, a lot of tank manufacturers, when they sell a tank to the dealer, they consider anything within a year, and some anywhere within 2 years, to be a current tank. What does that mean? That means if you're in an area that has a 5-year requirement for hydrostatic testing, that tank could be 1 to 1.5 years out of that 5 years already, which means, say it's 1.5, 5 minus 1.5 equals 3.5. You have 3.5 years to sell that tank as a new tank. Okay, well, if you wait a year, you have 2.5. It's already been sitting there a year. By next summer, in my case, you don't sell a lot of tanks in the winter. If I haven't sold it now and it was sitting here for a year, it's going to sit here till next year. That's 2 years plus the 1.5 years. Anyway, you add it, that's 3.5. 3.5 out of 5 means it's a little over a year off. Can you sell that for full price next year? Ethically, no. Reality, probably still can't. So what you want to do is look and see what you can sell and get the right value for. And maybe you're going to say, well, I should have sold it last year. I wish I didn't. Give them a few extra air fills. You buy a tank, you get 5 free air fills. Wow. And depending on your area, that might add up to about the value of a hydrostatic test next year anyways. So there's ways you can do this by literally looking around. These 2 things, and look around the store. Look around the garage. Look around your truck, whatever it happens to be. You're a professional educator, look around your classroom. Your facility's got money tied up. You've got requirements you need to do. How can I meet my requirements and clear up my inventory by bringing in sales and profit? Because we need to survive the winter or the spring or the summer, whatever your season is. Keep turning over what in your inventory. In stores, I mean, I have, and where the skirt around the mask is a opaque one, like not a black skirt, but an opaque skirt, and it's going yellowish. Well, if that silicone's going yellow, you cannot sell that as a new mask. So take a look at your stock, and if it's questionably getting to that point, make sure you sell that first. Get it out, give them a good value, get your money back, put your money in something that's profitable, something that moves. So we've looked at what worked, what didn't work, what have I got to make work. So what's the next one? Like to do. Most of us got into scuba because it was fun. I'm sure there's some people out there who went, boy, I want to have my own business, look around and go, yeah, scuba will work. But I'm pretty sure that's not very common, if it's out there at all. Most of us love the passion, the desire, the thrill of diving. I love being underwater, doesn't matter where. 10 minutes underwater is like a day off. Bet I'm not alone on that one. So as we're looking for that, remind yourself, when I go to plan a season, what do I enjoy doing? Because it is about profit, but it's also about passion. And if you lose your passion, very quickly, you'll lose the profit in your business too. So set up some goals. What do I want to do? Personally, I love teaching side mount. I also really enjoy teaching navigation. Love teaching navigation. It's one of opening that window up for people. And I mean an advanced navigation course, not the basics in a water course. That's fun too, but so much for the student to learn. But later on, as an advanced person, opening up the world of navigation to them brings me great joy. So if that's the case, I should be looking in the next season, how can I do the things I enjoy doing? I enjoy doing these NAUI talks. So maybe to make my next season profitable for me, and profit doesn't always mean money. Doesn't mean I'm bringing more Canadian dollars into me or yen or whatever country you're in. Okay. What it could mean is the success of doing what I enjoy doing. I enjoy the NAUI talks. And as you send me in the ideas, I keep putting them up and doing the best I can to present them. And when people say, boy, I'd like to help present that with you, I'm absolutely thrilled. I had the absolute pleasure last time of working with Marty Snyderman. It was a great time. I enjoyed it immensely. For me, that's something I would like to do. Now, what is it you want to do? If you enjoy doing it, try to figure it out. How can I do it in a way that's profitable, either time or money, or both? Preferably, it brings money into your pocket because you got bills to pay. You may be in a situation where money is not the main factor. Well, good for you. In that case, just make sure it's something that's worth doing. But why you don't want to pay for other people's diving? You're paying for your own diving. And if anything, you'd like to offset and pay less. Offsetting your costs by doing the things you like to do and having billable sales to go along with it could mean you get to do what you like to do at a profit or at least at a reduced cost. That's pretty cool. I like a full face mask in my communication set. Well, it's hard to play on that one if I don't have somebody else to have a comm set and understand how a full face mask works. So by having like-minded individuals in my group that want to learn and did learn full face and want to have the full face mask and communication sets means I have a whole other vehicle open to me to enjoy myself in the coming season. My area is going to get very cold over the next couple of months. And having my dry suit, in the summer, we're very hot, have 3mm suits. In the winter, we have dry suits. Range of temperatures where I live. And a lot of you out there have the same issues. So knowing as we're going into the cold weather, I got my dry suit, dry gloves, dry hood, full face mask. I'm really excited to have that opportunity to play. Is it going to be profitable? Not really. Is it going to be fun? Yes, because I enjoy doing it and I've trained the people and sold equipment so we can all have fun doing it. And yeah, by training them and selling equipment, it offset my costs and made a more practical way for me to enjoy myself. That's just one example. Take that example, convert it to whatever is happy for you. Everybody's got that. And if you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it. I'm in business, I can't not. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Before I get any arguments, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to do everything. There's this word called delegation. Delegation. How can I make the next season? Well, if I'm going around being grumpy, not happy, not enjoying myself, how many people want to come out and play? Well, if they're not coming out and play with me diving wise, they're not buying air fills, they're not buying tanks, and they're not buying courses. So me being grumpy is a cost to our business, is a cost to us as an organization, whether you're a store, an independent instructor, a charter boat, whether you're a resort, it's going to cost you. Nobody wants to sign up for the course with a professor who's just grumpy and doesn't enjoy what he's doing. So find what you like to do and what you don't like to do. How can I delegate? Well, maybe I'm just going to make one up. This isn't true, but maybe, because I told you I love diving side mount. Maybe I don't like diving side mount. I do. But maybe one of our other instructors loves teaching side mount. Well, let's get that person. In our case, I have one guy I know, Kyle loves teaching side mount. Get him to teach side mount. I can sit back and watch. Then I get to dive side mount, but I don't have to teach side mount. And maybe that's what makes me happy. The same token, because I'm happy, he's happy, the student's happy. We have billable sales on gear, billable continued education courses. It helps to be a successful season. But on the flip side, we have a happy diver who's now learned to side mount, a happy instructor who likes teaching side mount, and a happy me because I get to go play side mount. Sounds like 3 people won because I knew to delegate that out. Too many of us start to pull things in, pull things in, pull things in, thinking we have to do everything, and that's just not true. Delegate. Good word. There's also outsourcing. I've been to many places that have compressors and fill tanks. I've been to many places that don't have a compressor and have somebody come by and fill tanks. Some places they bring whatever 10 empty ones get taken away by the owner of the shop. You go up and get them filled somewhere else. But there's other places where they just come by, bring you 10 full, take your 10 empty. And there's other places where they literally come by with a truck or trailer, usually a truck that has a bunch of the Cascade bags are already filled and loaded on the truck. They top their bottles off and off they go. So in that case, you could reduce the cost of having to have a compressor. So if cost is an issue, you're not making money in air fills, look and see, maybe it's more profitable. I pay them whatever it is. I'm just going to make numbers up. I pay them $7 a fill. I charge $10 a fill. I make $3 a fill. Not much, but I'm making $3. Well, what if it was costing you $10 to do a fill now and you're billing 10? It's not worth your while. The other way, at least you make $3. And chances are you make more. You maybe not. It depends on your circumstance. You may not have the facility or meaning the physical location to have a compressor running based on your working into your garage or your university or college. Most stores are okay with it. It could be a cost issue. It could be you don't like to have to work on the compressor yourself and you're in an area you don't have a maintenance person. I'm lucky at where I am. I have a wonderful maintenance person, lives slightly better than an hour away from here, Ed. I'll call him, he'll guide you through it. You can't guide you through it, he'll be right up here and get it serviced me right away. Of course, you get a bill for it, and so you should. But you may not have that available, so you may not want the burden of fixing that kind of thing because you have more to do. So if you don't like doing it, outsource. Who can fill your tanks for you? Or who can teach a course for you? Or who can do the maintenance for you? Whatever it is you don't like doing, think about it. If it's profitable in a dollar way, can it be profitable in a happiness way and make it a successful season? It's a valid point. So as we look at that, we're going to spend a little bit more time on calls to action today than we quite often do. A lot of times it's just a couple of quick ideas that you can convert, but today I'd like to go through a few of them. Call to action. Right away, today, tonight, this morning, whatever time of day it is for you in this part of the world that you're in, take the time within the next 10 to 12 hours, whenever your work day is done, or first thing in the morning, and make a list. Matter of fact, make 2. What's working? What's not working? Make the list. Take the time. What is not working? Remember, as I'm doing that, I'm doing the look-see. What's sitting around? What do I have to sell? What do I have to have qualifications in place for? So I'm going to make the list of what's working, make the list of what's not. I'll put a check mark with a different color. Say I wrote everything in black. I'll write blue to the side if I like them. And then a red as well if it's something that's profitable. Very quickly, you'll start seeing what you need to focus on. You may have 10 things in each of these rows that works and that doesn't work. But by identifying out of those 10 each, that's 20 items, you may only have 3 or 4 things that have both check marks. A, it's on the list, got to look at it. B, it has a red check mark, and C, it has a blue check mark. And by doing that, very quickly, you're going to come up with an idea of what you should be planning in the next season. I can't hand you a magic pill, whether it be on the internet or in person, and say, here, take this, you're going to make money in this next season. I can't do that for you. I don't know where you are and where you are, what kind of facility you have, what qualifications you have. All of these and much, much more will affect those lists. But you know your list. What worked, what didn't. I have you on your list, you may have. And let's just go through a pretend list. What worked? I sold 2,000 air fills. Okay, that's good. What else worked? I sold 5 full face masks. Good, it's on the list. I 2 dry suits. Great, it's on the list. Whatever that happens to be. And look at, that's gear. And service, how much service did I do? Well, I didn't do any. Okay, well, that's on that other list. Well, how many basic courses did I teach? Beginner, open water diver. And you might say, yeah, 25. I usually only do 20. Excellent. Well, definitely write that on the list and put a check mark beside it because A, it worked. B, you clearly made money doing it. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. So as we start going through your store, your educational facility, your garage, your truck, or your basement, you can start developing those lists and just look at everything you've got as well as everything you need to do. If you don't sell gear, well, that makes that part of the list gone. If you maintain gear for people, well, then it'll be there. That part will be there. If you're listening to this, you're an instructor, so the courses definitely should be there. And again, if you're not selling courses, what is NAUI doing? Then we're here to help you teach people, which brings me to the next thing, which we talked about, the beginner course. I normally teach 20. This year I taught 25. Look at your accounting. Were they profitable? Do the prices match the reality that you're looking for in an outcome? You need to be profitable. If you're only teaching open waters and you didn't do very many advanced, if any, then continuing education did not work. It's got to be on that other list. Be honest with yourself. Continuing education is a absolutely important item that all of us need to maintain. We have to have that training line from open water, advanced, rescue, nitrox in there, depending on your area, master diver, dive master, instructor, and of course the whole myriad of specialties. How is that playing out for you? Now, if you're in Mark, he's in Korea, and if he's probably not going to sell an awful lot of dry suit courses. Me, on the other hand, in October, November, well, that's a good premium and a good opportunity to sell dry suits as well as courses. Okay, so you got to look at where you are and adjust those lists. So you see how we're developing that list. Make those lists. Doesn't mean you can't change them later, but make a list within the next 8 to 10 hours. As soon as your workday is done, before you go home, do a look around and make your lists. Come back in the morning, fresh from a good evening off, look at your list and look around again and tune those lists up a bit more. Call to action. Do something. And within a week, what can we do? Let's make some targets, because we've had a couple of days now, we've had those lists. We had a chance, once we had the list, to look at the accounting, because you can't do it all at once. Start with making a list. Look around. Secondly, within a week, find out what is profitable, what is not profitable. That could be a 1-week goal. I do realize it's not the one on the screen because I know everybody can read that. I'm trying to give you one that's not on the screen. And by doing so, you can now see what's profitable. You may also be able to take the list and look and say, well, which of my staff, if we have more than one instructor that works with you, would like to teach that? Maybe I could focus on, I'm bogged down between air fills and maintaining gear and running basic courses. I just can't get to more. And you legitimately may not be able to get to those. Okay, and maybe you are the best person for the beginner courses, the gear and service. Especially if you're the only one with the maintenance tickets. Well, look around. You might have a brand new instructor. You're wasting your time because you taught him, you got him to a certain spot, and all he's doing is assisting you. He could have assisted you as a dive master. So say, how would you like to run the next open water course? Let them run the open water course. Or maybe they have a unique skill set and they're actually better to teach the advanced course that you're not teaching. One of you needs to pick. That could be done as a 1-week goal too. There's lots of 1-week goals you could have. The profitability, who's the right person to do it, and all of this is coming from whatever your list is. It's your list that's dictating our decisions for that 1 week. Find the targeted person for each of these, whether it be your accounting person, whether it be another instructor that works with you, whether it be like-minded business that you guys can have some synergy. Maybe they do your air fills, you do their maintenance. Like there's all these things you could do within a week that comes from your list of what worked and what didn't. Let's look at a month. 1 month. Put plans in place and execute them. I actually read the screen for change. You know, I'm not big on reading the screen. So when I do read the screen, that's important. So what we're looking for here is an opportunity. Within a month, I want to be engaged in these activities that were drawn from my list, from tuning them up within a week. And now I can make a plan. So you got a couple of weeks to put these plans in place. And that week could be maybe my other assistant instructor, or my not assistant instructor, my co-instructor that works with me out of my garage or whatever. Perhaps that person is really gung-ho. I really like to teach the advanced. Great. Well, here's who we taught open water to this year and last year. Here's their files. Get them to go through, phone them up. Hi, this is Bob from ABC Diving. We're just checking to see how you're enjoying your new scuba passion that we were teaching you open water last year. And we want to let you know we're having a special on the advanced course. And here's what it is. It sounds easy. And I know that's for a lot of people, it's tough. Picking up that phone for some people is terrifying. Well, then that's not the right person. Find the right person. Pick up the phone and call these people. That's old school. Pick up the phone. You could also email them. You could text them. And they do work. Yes, they do work. However, the personal side of you as a business is not going to be there. Talk to them, invite them to the shop, maybe have a beverage night, a photo show night, hot dog and hamburgers and celebrating the end of a season. Have a reason for them to come to the store. Maybe that's your best bet. Get them to the store. If you feel more comfortable phoning people about having a hamburger or a wrap or a fish grilling or whatever you like to do, depending on your area. I mean, I'm big for fish, love seafood. So that would attract some people. And I'm happy to make that phone call. Phones, hey, we're having a fish fry. Would you like to come? People like to eat. It's kind of a necessary part in our life. Matter of fact, it is a necessary part of our life. So encouraging them to come out and have a bite to eat may be the way that you're more comfortable in your situation to get them to come out. Once they get there, put up some signs. Ask me about our advanced course special. Even better, print a couple of t-shirts. Put them on your staff. This is old school stuff. Matter of fact, I know Tom, one of our NSG board members and very, very valuable NAUI member, I know they did that before and sent people out into the community with t-shirts that said, ask me about learning to scuba dive. You know what? People read the slogans on shirts. Of course they do. Who here doesn't have a shirt for diving? Okay. Who here doesn't have at least a drawer full of dive shirts? Why do we buy them? Because we like to read what's on dive shirts. And other people like to read. I got a NAUI one on, right? So at the end of the day, print some shirts for your staff. They're very inexpensive. Depending where you live, it could be $10, could be $25, could be $30. I don't know. You know your market, I don't. Again, I talk in Canadian dollars. So get some t-shirts and put them on your staff saying, ask me about learning to dive, or ask me about your course, ask me about advanced, pick a theme. If you're inviting everybody that's open water, then I would suggest ask me about your advanced course and the specials we're running or something. Make it short, make it zippy, and put it out. Easy to print t-shirts. There's lots of companies all over the world that provide that service. Just tell them you want some shirts, okay? So if you did that in a month and these people came out to a function and maybe 25 people came out, 5 signed up for a course. Well, 5 people would definitely keep your instructors and students moving. Advanced students tend to buy gear. They need gear. They're accumulating now. In addition, they're active and engaged with you in continuing education. You've now got them on a cycle. And once they're done their advanced course, some of them will continue on to master diver or whatever that you're looking to do beyond. They may go to rescue stop. They may go to rescue then master diver. They may go, who knows, up to instructor. But get them out for continuing education. That's one way we can use a call to action. Short version of what I just said was make the lists, tune the lists, see whether they're profitable, who they should apply to, and get some action on those few items within a month. That's a real call to action. And maybe in your off season or you may be coming to your busy season, is going to change the season and make it more successful. For me, I'm coming into an off season where without travel because of COVID, it's very, very devastating in sales. But if I can teach first aid, oh, I can get people out, get them engaged. I know I've mentioned it before. Actually, one of my other videos, which I want to get up on the platform, it's on a different site right now, is about teaching first aid and how I tie in silly things sometimes like a meal. First aid in a meal, sure. And I'm in Canada and it's cold and we're stuck here. So one of my favorite restaurants is there's a Thai restaurant just down the street. So I have first aid in Thailand. What that really means is we're having first aid course, and those that are coming get to share some wonderful Thailand food. And another night, I pick a different country, Mexican, first aid in Mexico. Those that are coming realize they're having a wonderful meal of Mexican food along with the course. Sounds silly, but is it? I fill the courses. And yes, I charge a little extra because we're providing food. In our case, most of them want to come in the evenings. And in the evening, they're coming straight from work and they're hungry. Well, if they're well fed, they're going to pay attention. If they're too hungry, they'll be thinking of food and wanting to go home. So A, I get them to come. B, they want to stay. C, they're happy. We've got sales. It cost us more, didn't cost us after profit anything different because we added to the course cost to cover the food. Just a great idea. That's a call to action. And there could be more. So let's look just for a few seconds. What did we learn today? Because today was a bit more wordy than usual. To plan the next season, this is what you need to do. Make your lists, 2 lists. Highlight the lists by checking what's profitable and what you like to do and what works. What works, and then of course, what's profitable and what you like to do on the not works. Just because it's on the not working doesn't mean you're going to disappear it. Just because it's on the working doesn't mean you're going to keep it. We now can look at those lists that have the 2 check marks. Those lists are shorter now, and decide within a week what our call to action in that week is going to be. How can we make the things that didn't work better? How can we make the things that did work more profitable? And then within a month, we're engaged in taking part in our call to action based on whatever activity you think it was. I gave you a few examples of food. And no, I'm not hungry. I just thought they were good examples. I did have my lunch. Okay. So make them realistic, make them attainable. Goals that are not attainable are not goals. They're dreams. There's a big difference between a dream and an attainable goal. Going from a bad seat, like my off season, say if you normally only sell $1,000 in a month, to say I'm going to sell $100,000 in a month, that's wonderful, but it's probably more of a dream than it is a goal. The goal should be, I need to bring in a minimum of $1,000 a month, so therefore I'm going to try to get $2,000 a month. That's attainable, or is it? That's up to you to decide. As always, I'm recording today's session, and it'll be up on the NAUI TV. And I'm going to take an extra minute and talk about NAUI TV because we're going to be changing the format next month. I'm very excited about that. I've been talking about it. Some of you know, some of you don't, but I've always been recording them. Always going to continue recording them, but we're going to migrate to a live format rather than this is live, we record it and put it up. We're going to go straight live to our online TV section. So stay tuned for this. For you, the viewer, it's going to be real simple. Register like normal. And then I'm hoping to bring it in such a way that you don't have to register. You can just link right in, but I don't want to get into that right. It's just for you, just keep going. And what you're going to find is better, easier, more adaptable for you. Okay. So look forward to those changes. But one of the big changes is I wanted to do this for quite a while, and I think now we have enough of our NAUI TV sessions to start doing things with and to start making time zone changes. So what we're going to be going to is 2 time zones starting in hopefully October, but definitely by November, we're going to be having 2 different sessions instead of 2 p.m. Eastern time, which for some of you is spectacular, some it doesn't. We're going to be going to 2 time zones, one for this side of the world, one for the other. So you may be in a spot where they both work for you, and you may be in a spot where neither works for you. And I hope that's not the case. I'm working hard to get the right time slots. But we will continue to have one in each area. And you'll be able to attend live one of them, both of them, because they're, again, it's just like same as everyone's a different session, but everyone I'm going to recording. Right now, some people, literally it's the middle of the night and it may not be a convenient time for them to get up in the middle of the night. Matter of fact, I guarantee it's not a convenient time to get up in the middle of the night. So we're going to truly be worldwide. And you know that that's always my striving force, is to be truly worldwide for all of our members, whether they're independent, affiliates, or professional educators. So stay tuned for those changes. I'm really excited about it. It'll be easy for you to view like it always has. It's just going to be better for members throughout the world. So stay tuned. It's coming. I'm just going to go through if any more questions. And while I'm looking at questions, I'm going to leave it up. So it's coming soon. So the first one is, independent instructors need to decide what their time is worth and figure this into determining their profitability. And I think, Mark, you're 100% correct. I think so often people want to give their time away. It costs you a lot of money to become an instructor. Mark, you hit the nail on the head. That is great, great advice. Your time is worth money. You may find this is a part-time thing on the side for you. Great. What does the local people in your area get on an hourly rate? If that's $10 or $50, then you should be factoring into that somehow. Your time is worth money. It didn't take me 15 minutes to fix your scuba rigs. It took me 15, 20 years of courses and fixing things, paying money out, doing the work, buying the tools, putting the bench in place. My time is worth something. And that 15 minutes to fix your, well, not that often I can fix a reg in 15 minutes, but if it only took me 15 minutes to fix your reg, it's worth a lot more than 15 minutes, because the reason I fixed it 15 minutes is I know what I'm doing. And you are an expert. If you're a NAUI instructor, you are a quality teacher. I guarantee it. And if you need help with that, by all means, contact your local service center, contact your local course director, contact your local coordinator of whatever's in your area, and get the help you need, because they're there for you. I know they are. I'm there for the guys in my area, and I'm there for you too. So thank you, Mark. Excellent comment. So I don't have a lot of more questions in there. Either I gave a lot of great information, or who knows, but I really do appreciate everybody tuning in today. As always, the next two topics I put in, which is an unusual one. I try to bring things from you. The next two topics are going to be about the member resource file folder. I'm redoing the whole thing, whole new look, whole change, trying to make it really proactive and reactive for you, to benefit you. If you're an independent instructor, I want you to be able to pull one of those folders up, open it up, a couple of quick changes. I'm so excited to share with you that next one. I wish we could do it right now. But if I tell you now, you'll have nothing to tune in for. So be excited for 2 weeks from now, because I am. When I already know it's there, and I'm excited, so you should be too. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share these recordings after the fact. Make sure when you get the invitations, you share them. Everybody's welcome to tune in. Can you imagine how much greater the world would be if everybody knows the quality of NAUI instructors? NAUI instructors are making their dollars that they need to be successful as well. That's our goal. So thank you for coming out today. Thank you for sharing with me. I very much appreciate you being here. I'm just gonna let you go, and I appreciate everybody's time and effort. Thanks. Till next time, Bill, and fun, safe diving. Bye now.